How's that sound to you?
I'm just realizing that your hat has a gladiator mask on it.
That is like a Spartan, my friend. I don't even know what to say. Hunting season starts this weekend.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. Google turns 21. Will they go out to the bar?
Partay.
And in going to the bar, will they use their app to access their earned wages? This is a rough one, ladies and gentlemen. But we have some stuff to talk to you about. Welcome to Friday on the Fly. I hope you're having a good day out there, wherever, whenever you are listening to this. I am with the one, the only, my favorite Friday on the Fly co-host, Tomas.
Favorite and only. Jeez. That's funny.
Indeed.
Yeah, we truly do this on the fly. If nobody actually gets that from listening, it's pretty well,
I could
is
show
what you
the
get.
behind-the-scenes coverage of when I start the cameras, and you and I are talking about, basically
We
what
might
to
have
talk
to do
about.
that sometime. That would be interesting because
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't know how much you can edit that content. It would be interesting. Some of the different things we try to murk through the waters here.
We'll get
but
some background maybe sometime, some behind the scenes. But for right now, this is on the fly because I'm still adjusting even our sound as we go here. All right. So first up, Tomas, we had a gentleman actually internally here at BWE send us an interesting article about being able to tap into your wages prior to your normal paycheck. So the title of this is "The Newest Workplace Perk Looks a Lot Like a Payday Loan." It's on CNBC's website. And what this is talking about is, say you're in a bind, say you had a health bill come up, the kid gets sick, you have to take him to the hospital, and you have a big bill, maybe a big copay or something like that, that comes up, and you don't have access to your paycheck because you're in week 1 rather than week 2, right? And through this app, though, that they're offering, you can actually tap those wages that you've already earned, it seems. Am I right on this, Tomas?
Yeah, it goes into how companies are using it as a perk to try to incentivize people to come and work for them, right?
Such as Walmart.
Walmart's
right?
one of them
That's
that they mention here in the
example.
article. So
Yep.
direct access to your pay. So instead of having to wait 2 weeks or a month for that paycheck, you could have access to it every day if you wanted to. It's like an ATM
For
app.
a fee.
Sure, $2.99 flat fee, it says, for each transaction. But it gives you that flexibility. Instead of having to go get a payday loan, pay high interest rates, you can use this app. It's
Good Lanton. You mentioned not having to do the payday loan thing. I just read the 400%.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world?
Yeah,
400% annual percentage rate. If you pay, what is it? What's their example here? A 2-week, let me just read this. Many states set a maximum amount for payday loan fees ranging from $10 to $30 for every $100 borrowed. Still, a 2-week payday loan with a $15 fee per $100 borrowed is the equivalent of an annual percentage rate of almost 400%, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Sorry, I interrupted you there, but when you said percent and I saw that percent, I just...
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, very high interest rates on this. That APR percentage, if you would extrapolate that out over the years, is obviously very high. But when people are in a pinch, like you were talking about, and they need that money, they need access to it. But this is a way, unemployment's low. What's really competitive right now, trying to bring people on to fill these jobs, and companies like Walmart or places like that have just the general labor type of jobs. It's extremely competitive. Fast food is another area like that. So, this is definitely a more appealing option than trying to go out and solicit a payday loan and pay 4 times more than your
and of
loan's
course
worth.
they're not suggesting to do this every day, right?
Correct.
They're suggesting this as an option in case if you're in a bind and you need that money to not get used to doing this. It's really a bad habit to create, right?
Yeah,
in yourself if you're not being good with your money.
The article goes in more in depth there at the end about how just the American society in general is terrible with their money and finances, and young people specifically.
Which are a lot of the people getting the McDonald's job or the Walmart job, right?
Sure,
Young folks,
yeah. The millennial generation, we're right in the peak of that, entering the workforce, and so they need to learn how to better budget their money. It's in there, and
Yes,
it's
indeed.
it's just really interesting. I'm not by any means an expert on personal finances
We've
either,
never
but
claimed to be an expert on anything in this
correct.
one, Tomas, other than talking.
Sure.
Maybe we're experts
We're
at that. We're getting there. By the way, this is episode 20. Throwing
yeah.
that out there.
Yeah.
Man, talk about doing, putting the cart before the horse or whatever, or
It's very
lagging
exciting.
behind. I don't
Yeah.
know what analogy to use there, but yeah, episode 20. So thanks if you've joined us for every episode. Moving on, you know that we have usually 3 articles. The second one isn't really an article. Just wanted to bring up the fact that this weekend is youth, at least in Indiana, it's youth white-tailed deer season. It's the youth weekend. And that's just an exciting time. I remember when I was growing up going out, especially with my brother, go out on either youth weekend or go with my dad. Didn't really ever bag anything because I probably made too much noise or smelled too bad or something, and they picked me up. But nonetheless, this is a great time of year for youth in this community to be able to get out, get outdoors, go and hunt, and also the relationships. That's a big part. Getting to go out, like I just said, I used to go out with my dad, my brother. A lot of good memories there. So, any comments?
I think I think a lot of people you talk to, they remember youth season and being able to go out with their parents or their uncle or their grandparents or a family friend, and just being able to sit out there and bond, even in a quiet time, right? It's not like you're doing a lot of talking out there while you're waiting, but just being one with nature, being outside, outdoors. It was a cool, brisk 60 degrees when we came in this morning,
Fantastic.
which is very exciting.
So
that time of year is here. Harvest is started.
Yep.
I think by the end of next week, we'll be talking about pretty well full bore harvest everywhere, which is exciting. So yeah, and like you said, it's youth weekend this weekend, October 1st, which is Tuesday, is bow
is
season
the official
when it starts.
day of bow season. So, big stuff around here. If you wanted to check out some episodes dealing with hunting, because if you haven't picked up, we are into hunting here, especially my brother and I. Especially my brother, he's actually going on a moose hunt or something here soon.
Yep, coming up.
So if you did though want to hear some interaction that we've had the opportunity to have with some, you could say professional hunters, if you will. I doubt they'd like that title, but nonetheless, guys who are very good at hunting and have made at least a partial living off of it. Tony Walker from American Way TV on the Pursuit channel. We had him on episode 12. Go check that out. That was a fun time with him. He's actually Bain Welker sponsors him, so we have a good relationship with him. And we also had another gentleman on episode 30 from Outdoor Open Season. From Open Season, James Blankenbeckler of Open Season TV. We talked about especially whitetail deer hunting. Got into some good stuff there, just some even memories my dad brought up from when he used to go out to Colorado with my grandpa, Kenneth Bain. So anyway, just some fun stuff there, throwing that out there. I can actually link those in the description to this episode for you, so you can just click on them there or whatever. But do give those a listen. With hunting season around the corner, it just reminds me of fall, all the good things that go with it, like you were saying, Tomas, harvest. And
yep, and I'm sure both those guys are busy getting
yeah,
ready
I've seen
for
some
everything.
Some social media posts from both of them.
Yeah, what's interesting about those episodes, and when you listen to them, people think, well, hunting season's here. It's October 1st. Better get my bow out and go sit in the stand. But those guys do it year round. I mean, it is a preparation.
Yeah, big time. So on that, on especially the episode with James, we got into plots and stuff, and just the amount of work that goes in, like you just said, year round. Mm-hmm. Really, it starts after hunting season is over in January, with muzzleloader, I think, is the last portion of that. And there's just so much work going into it. And if you wanna get some good mature trophy bucks during whitetail deer season, you have to put in the work like these guys do, or just get extremely lucky, which some people do.
Sure.
So that can be frustrating to the experienced hunter. But anyway, so deer hunting season coming up. Hope all you guys out there get to enjoy that. Take some time off work. Hopefully on the weekend you get to get some relief maybe. I know it's hard with harvest going on, but anyway, looking forward to that. So last portion, we had an article, right, Tomas, on Google turning 21.
Yeah, when you go to the Google homepage and the little
does it have a beer there?
Picture
or
graph.
or?
It does not have a beer.
Okay.
I was going to say we need to raise a beer to Google because it actually has a little picture of a really old
old computer monitor
and has the Google screen on it. So,
yeah.
yeah, Google turns 21 today. So 21 years ago today, Google was first launched as a search browser, and yeah, it
It's hard to believe,
changed the world, really. I mean,
yeah, it's hard to think of a world without it. For you and I, we're only 30, so really that's been our entirety of our internet experience, right?
Sure.
Or computer experience.
yeah, I think we both remember dial-up internet. I mean,
Yeah,
we
the
lived in a
terrible noise.
rural community
Right.
and trying to get that all set up, but it wasn't until, I mean, I remember trying to search for things on the internet before Google, and you had to go to a web browser. There was one, I can't even think of it. I'm going to embarrass myself by trying to say something, but it was
Dial
weird.
up, though,
Like
yeah,
you'd have to
that's-
go to a website to search, and it just only searched within that. But Google just gave us everything, and
It opened up all the
we did a search this morning for this.
all the world of the interwebs.
Yeah, for the DNR thing, and it came up with like 87 million searches in like 0.15 seconds.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah, it's an interesting world, right?
the amount of information
think-
we have at our fingertips is unreal.
And it's interesting because I was thinking about this the other day. What has it done to our ability to maintain and retain certain facts, certain things that we need to know, like spelling? Like, God forbid, we'd have to, write something out on a piece of paper, right?
Right.
And spell it correctly, because we're so used to autocorrect. But what do? Nowadays you probably ask Siri, right? But the majority of people probably still use Google to look up, is it is it no or no? Is it that's? I mean, surely you know that one, but you know what I mean. Like, which word to use, even if they sound the same. And I'm curious what that's done to our ability as people to retain information that we otherwise 50 years ago would have not even thought about not knowing.
Yeah.
Right? It would have been silly for us to not know the difference between two words or not know how to spell a word or
The other thing it's done is it takes the guy in the room. Like, let's say we got together with two of our other friends. We can talk a little Pepe and, bring out Carter here. And Sam starts making up something, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he could be the smartest guy in the room, and everybody could believe him because you can't fact check. Right? You have to go to
Just don't go to Snopes.
Yeah,
Snopes is not a true fact-checking site, everybody. Just throwing that out there. They've recently been fact-checking jokes, for Pete's sakes. When you get to that realm, you aren't a fact checker anymore. If you have to fact check a joke, anyway, go ahead.
But no, the guy can sit in the room and basically say whatever he wants, and if you can't find it in the encyclopedia to prove him wrong, who can prove him wrong, right?
Yeah.
People believe that. Well, today, if you said something I didn't think was right, I just type it in the old Google and see what it says, and
which shows
it's
that
going to give me 15 million different options of what could be correct. But
right. That's the difficult part, right? Is then deciphering, is this even true? Like,
right.
I mean, I remember when Wikipedia first came out. It's actually kind of a more solid platform now for getting information. But when it first came out, you were only allowed at my school to use it as a place to find references. So if people listed the references they used, you could use it there. But if you dared to cite Wikipedia.
Right, yeah, it did not belong on the bibliography page.
Right. So anyway, yeah, Google has really opened up a whole mess of issues, good and bad. We have so much at our fingertips, and that's a great part. And that really just speaks to the internet in general, right? What the internet has done. For instance, this podcast would not be available if the internet did not exist.
Correct.
If you look up, I mean, I guarantee if anybody's tried to look up Plow Talk, they 9 out of 10 times probably used Google to do so. So it's beneficial. We can get our content out there. You can have a worldwide audience because of the internet in general, not just Google. But also there's of course the drawbacks, like anything that is new and anything that has been invented as of late. We're still figuring out the ethical and moral sides of that. So
yeah, and there's a
interesting stuff.
dependency for it.
Right.
Like you're talking about, we lean on it so heavily now, and we don't have to retain it all in our head. So if it didn't exist, we'd have a society with a lot of limitations on trying to make sure we
and
have
what
those.
What
those
you
things.
mentioned earlier was an interesting point, because if we did have the people in the room and we were debating a topic, the interesting thing about that is we would most likely, if we were having an intellectual discussion, we would all be trained in reason and logic, unlike we are today. So what I'm getting at is we could most likely decipher whether something was true through thinking and thinking critically, which if you have Google at your fingertips, it's a little harder to maintain discipline to be a critical thinker, I think. So
Mhm.
so there may be that aspect as well, that maybe the guy could have been proved wrong by referencing an encyclopedia or whatnot, but he also may have been able to be proved wrong just by reason and logic and talking
Sure.
through the issue, which
Mhm.
I hope we can get back to. So
Yeah. If you
Google,
if you needed a reason to
yeah,
drink a beer this weekend, drink one
raise, I
tonight
guess, raise one to Google.
for Google.
That's actually a good idea. Maybe I've got some, what is it, spotted cow or something like that. I
Well,
forget
there
what
you
it's
go.
called, from Wisconsin.
Jeez.
You like?
Imports.
Yeah, imports from the states abroad. All right. Well, one last thing we wanted to mention was today is my regular Plow Talk co-host and my brother, Jason Bain's birthday. So if you're out there in the Bain-Welker complex, shoot him an email, send him a text, give him a call, wish him a happy birthday for us all, please. He does a lot around here, as you all know. He's a hardworking guy. I've looked up to him, not only as a brother, but in a lot of ways because he's actually 17 years older than me. So I was the surprise, quote unquote. He's also been somewhat a father figure for me, not because my dad was absent or anything like that, but just because he was that much older than me, and he would always take me under his wing, like I said, for hunting and for other things. I recall one instance getting my truck stuck out in the field, not because I was doing any shenanigans I shouldn't have been. And who came to the rescue? Jason did. So anyway, happy birthday to you, Jason, and I hope all of you will join me in saying so. What else is going on this weekend, Tomas?
Pretty quiet weekend, I think. It was the last weekend for baseball, so that's my,
Yep.
the Reds wrap it up their dismal season on Sunday. And playoff baseball will start next week, so it's an exciting time there.
Something happened, though. 19 innings.
Yeah, the Cardinals played a 19-inning game.
That's miserable.
Yeah, 7 hours and 40-some minutes, I think. Pretty well 2.5 games.
To 4 in the morning or something like that, our time?
Yeah, and then they played another game at 1 o'clock that afternoon. So
Golly, was
played-
every second stringer, third stringer just out there just...
The
Trying
team
to-
the Cardinals were playing went through 27 players, I think.
Sheesh. How
And-
many pitchers?
I don't know how many pitchers. See, now you're catching me off guard. I don't know how many pitchers, but 27 players is what played. The interesting thing about that is from April, when the season starts, to the end of August, your regular season roster is only 25 players. In September, the rosters expand so you can bring on
Gotcha.
extra people and
Yeah.
different things. So 27 players in a game isn't even possible for 90% of the season, right? So
Based on the rules, yeah.
yeah, it was just very
Fascinating.
interesting how long that went. And Major League Baseball set all kinds of records this year, home run records, and we've got a juiced baseball and all kinds of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how
Yeah.
the playoffs come about, and
Yeah.
the Cubs are out of it too. So
Alrighty. Well, we'll definitely be talking about that in future episodes, Tomas. So this has been episode 20. If you've liked it, please do subscribe. To give you a little highlight, a little preview, I should say, of Monday's episode, we had a gentleman named Tyler Gordon from the Spray Center in Lebanon, Indiana, on the show with us to talk about his background in agriculture and talk about the Spray Center. We went kind of all over the place talking with him. It was a good time. We always like speaking with the employees of Bain-Welker. They put a lot of hard work into this place, and it's good to get to know the different locations as well, because every location is different. So do give that a little listen on Monday morning. Otherwise, have yourselves a great weekend. Let us know what you'd like to hear about next week. Like we did today, we used an article suggested to us, and it was very helpful. So, Tomas, thank you.
yep, have a good weekend.
Peace.